Remember, what makes me different, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm not smarter than anybody else. I plead ignorance myself, right? But I do have training which most people don't have. I have a degree in agriculture. I have a major in animal husbandry and nutrition. My minor was in field crops and soils. I have a degree in veterinary medicine. I have a postdoctoral fellowship in comparative pathology, and all my projects have done over 38,000 autopsies. One of my projects, the Center for the Biology of Natural Systems, did 20,000 autopsies, 10 million chemistries, 10 million slides of special stains. The book that came out of that, 1,200 pages, 1,200 pages, covers all this material. It's in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure. Nobody's ever done it before or since then. This information is invaluable to researchers in genetics, DNA, RNA, and telomere research. That's, again, now the book for the public that's going to be where the average person without all that background and training can understand is Epigenetics, the death of the genetic theory of disease transmission. Of course, I discovered the first non-human case of cystic fibrosis at Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia. The Yerkes Primate Center showed very clearly it wasn't due to genetic transmission as they believed. A simple deficiency of a mineral selenium during pregnancy could be prevented, could be reversed, and they fired me. So that's when I went back to school in 1978 and became a naturopathic physician, been practicing for 36 years in human medicine as a primary care physician in Oregon and more recently in California. So I want you to get this information. And, of course, you'll be able to add 25, 50, 75, 100 years to your life if you employ all this information. Now, you get the book Epigenetics, The Death of the Genetic Theory of Disease Transmission. You get a hold of the book Rare Earths Forbidden Cures and the book Immortality, and you'll really understand how this works. By dumb luck, the top 20 longevity cultures have 40 times the 100-year-olds we do. Now, they didn't do that because they have better genes than we do. They did it by dumb luck because, by dumb luck, the area they live in has all the 90 essential nutrients, particularly the 60 essential minerals, which are the cofactors and raw materials for genes, DNA, RNA, and telomeres, to give the individuals that are in these top 20 longevity cultures the ability to maximize their potential for longevity, their potential for health, their potential for speed and strength and intelligence, fending off disease. Everybody has the potential to live well beyond 200. If you're biblically oriented, you know well beyond 900. Methuselah lived to be 969. And so why can't we do it? Well, I believe we can. But you have to have all this raw material stuff. If you put 6 quarts of oil in a Mercedes or a Lamborghini, it'll go 300,000 miles before you need a new engine. You put 6 quarts of dirt from Texas in there because you think there's plenty of oil in Texas, that car's not going to go 50 miles. And the same way with our bodies. If you just eat well, you'll be like somebody like Steve Jobs, a billionaire, smart, but he bet on the wrong horse. He ate well, and he had the top vegan chef, and he died at 56. He had the potential to live well beyond 100, maybe well beyond 200, maybe well beyond 300. But he died at 56 because he bet on the wrong horse. He did not supplement, and he ate organic foods that were stir-fried and extra virgin olive oil and coconut oil because he believed that if you just ate well, you get everything you need. Well, it didn't work well for him. It won't work well for you either. So get a hold of the books Epigenetics, The Death of the Genetic Theory of Disease Transmission, the book Rare Earths Forbidden Cures, the book Immortality. Get the 90 for Life program. Stay away from the bad stuff, and you'll add many, many, many healthful years to your life. We'll be back with more Truth, Justice, and the Longevity Way on Dead Doctors Don't Lie after these messages. Okay, Doug, what pearls of wisdom do you have for us today?
Well, I got a story about a surgeon. This came from Fox News. Headline, Surgeon Disciplined for Removing the Wrong Kidney. A California surgeon has been disciplined for removing a prisoner's healthy kidney and leaving the diseased one intact. State Medical Board placed Dr. Charles Coonan Street on probation for 3 years. He's a urologist who's had a license for 41 years, relied on his memory to decide which kidney to remove because he didn't have access to the patient's medical records. Now, I'm thinking, what surgeon decides to whack somebody open and he doesn't even have the patient's chart in front of him? It's just insane. And this all happened at Fullerton St. Jude Medical Center, involved a 59-year-old federal inmate. The hospital was fined $100,000 because CT scans were left in a office on the day of the surgery. The inmate underwent a second procedure to have the cancerous kidney removed. So, and they don't say whether he got like a kidney replacement or not. So I don't know if he's just going without a kidney now or what's going on.
They can do dialysis, even with no kidneys. He can get dialysis done. until they find kidneys for him to transplant. Of course, he's a prisoner. He's kind of low end of the totem pole. And, of course, anybody else, I'm sure that this doctor would have said, we're going to cancel this surgery today until I get the records and have it with me, so we're going to delay this for a day or two. Another day or two is not going to make that much difference. I don't feel right doing it without looking at the records. But he's a prisoner. Kick him under the rug and who cares? And this happens thousands and thousands and thousands of times in the United States. Wall Street Journal article, this was 2012, came out and said, each surgeon makes thousands and thousands and thousands of errors every year. It averages 22 errors per surgery. They did this with hidden cameras in surgery rooms. This is a big Wall Street article. I've seen it where they've taken out healthy lungs and leave the cancerous lungs in. I've seen it where, they'll take out the prostate gland of a man. He was only supposed to go in there to have a knee replacement and all that kind of stuff. It's just really bad, because the doctors, 52% of them, according to Lucien Lepay from Harvard Medical School, 52% are intoxicated on alcohol, street drugs, prescription drugs, and this is the primary reason for their mistakes. Okay, they are intoxicated. And I think everybody should write into their state and federal senator, state and federal member of the House, and, of course, the governor and the president, write in, email, call them, flood them with complaints and saying, hey, we want doctors to take a breathalyzer test before they're allowed in their own office or the hospital. Every time they're going to do a procedure, if they do 10 procedures a day, they got to have 10 tests a day. Breathalyzer test, urine test, screening for drugs. And then once a month do a blood test for drug levels in their blood. Okay? That'll eliminate a lot of this stuff. But as long as they're a protected monopoly, self-policing, with no oversight by any agency, they run amok. They kill, injure, and infect 15 million patients in their clinics and hospitals every year. They kill, injure, and infect 15 million. That came out February 5th, 2007. It was a big study by the Institute of Medicine, the Journal of the American Medical Association, and the Center for Disease Control, a federal agency that tracks this kind of stuff. Full-page article in the USA Today, February 5th, 2007. And so they kill, injure, and infect 15 million of their customers at the workplace. Don't even get an OSHA ticket. Tell me, Doug, how many people would fly commercial airlines if they knew that they killed, injured, and infected 15 million passengers every year?
Probably only isolate terrorists.
Yeah, it wouldn't be very many Americans, right? Then how come do they go to the doctor? It's amazing to me. Well, thank you so much for keeping this, in front of everybody's eyes so that they know, doctors are not that safe. Well, stick with us. We'll be back with more Truth, Justice, and the Longevity Way on Dead Doctors Don't Lie after these messages. Okay, Doug, let's go to callers.
Let's head to Australia. And Bob, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Well, Bob, you're on the air.
Hello, Doc. Thanks for your work.
Well, thank you.
My wife has had a bone hardener injection when she was in hospital with a broken hip in September 2012. And I'm trying to put off the doctor having another one, giving her another one. The dentist wants to take out 2 abscess teeth before that. Will the killer biotic or something else fix the tooth abscesses?
Okay. Well, how much does this lady weigh?
She weighs 170 pounds. She's 5'10" and 69 years old.
She's old, huh? No, 69 is kind of young.
Yeah, well, that's right.
69 is young, right? Okay. Well, first of all, what I like to do, if somebody has abscess teeth, they've got to get the Envision colloidal silver, brush your teeth, particularly in the areas where the abscess teeth are with the colloidal silver, to kind of disinfect the gums in and around the teeth and so forth, as well as the gums. Also gargle with a dropper full of that colloidal silver and, say, a couple ounces of water twice a day. Then I would also take the killer biotic. Killer biotic is a blend of herbs which supports the immune system, and 2 of those 8 herbs actually have antimicrobial properties and can kill bacteria, viruses, fungus, and yeast. So at 170 pounds, I'd have her take 9 of those a day, 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner. That'd be 3 bottles a month of the killer biotic. And then, because she has a fractured hip, and of course, when you have abscess teeth, oftentimes, I don't know, maybe 90% of the time, abscesses occur when you have osteoporosis of the face and the jaw. And as the bone begins to disappear, the ligaments between the bone and the teeth roots kind of get torn, and so food gets down in there and causes the abscesses. A lot of people say, well, the bone goes away because of infection. No, the infection is there because the bone went away. It's the opposite of what they would say. And so you have to use a colloidal silver to get the infection down topically, the killer biotic to kind of attack the infection from inside. And then, of course, I'd have her take 2 of the healthy bone and joint packs per month. That'll be a full dose of everything twice a day, except for the glucogel. She needs 15 a day, 5 at breakfast, 5 at lunch, 5 at dinner. And this whole program is going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, and the bone itself. Now, many times, the jaw will tighten up those loose teeth and deal with the abscesses. Sometimes they don't, but most of the time they do. Call me every 2 weeks, Bob. Good day, mate. We'll be back after these messages.
I just got a gluten-free pack of the Go Foods delivered to the station today.
Aren't they great?
Yeah, they are. Let's head to Tennessee, and Lori, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Lori, you're on the air.
Hi.
Yes, ma'am. How can we help you?
Yeah, I'm calling because I have a knot on the bottom of my foot that's been bothering me for about 3 months, and it seems like it's getting larger. And I went to a Diplomat AK chiropractor, and he's been working with me. And then he got right across the way was just a regular foot doctor. She came over and looked at it and said the only way to really tell what it was is with a MRI. And I wanted to ask your opinion of that.
Okay. Did either of them take an X-ray?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, you have to look inside there somehow. It could be from a fracture. It could be from a foreign body. I mean, you could have stepped on a needle in the rug and not known it, and so you're getting inflammation and even maybe an abscess around that needle. That's a possibility. I've seen that happen many times. It's very simple. You take an X-ray. Well, by golly, look at that. There's a sewing needle in there. That's one possibility. And certainly it could be from a fracture. How old are you?
65.
Okay, and how much do you weigh, ma'am?
185.
Okay. You have any other issues, any skin problems, asthma, anything like that?
No, but I've been on your program for almost a year now, and I'm on 2 healthy start packs, blood sugars. You're right. I don't know if you remember me, but anyway.
Well, I talk to thousands of people a day, so if I haven't talked to you for a year, I apologize, probably not. Okay, now, did you have diabetes? Is that why you started the program?
I am yes. And I have gone from 60 units a day to 10.
Oh, that's excellent. So you're progressing. Very, very good. And you might want to up the sweeties to I don't know if you're only taking 3 a day. You might want to take 6 a day. If you're taking 6 a day, I'd go to 9 a day. I'd also make sure you're giving up carbohydrates and you're staying away from sugar and even juices and fruit and that kind of stuff. You can get everything you need from fruit, from vegetables without the risk of sugar. Now, so I'd start out with an X-ray of the foot. Okay? And hang on. We'll tell you a little bit more when we come back. So hang on here, Lori. We'll be back with you after these messages. Okay, Doug, let's go right back to Tennessee and Lori. Okay, Shar. Hello, Shar.
Hello.
Oh, hello. There you are. Okay, well, let's say for a moment that she's 65 years old. Lori's 65 years old. Let's say for a moment that she's got a fracture in her foot because she stepped off the curb funny and broke her foot, and now so she's getting what's called a callus, which would be a kind of a scar tissue growing around the fracture. And we're excluding, until we see the X-ray, we don't know if there's a needle in there or something like that. But let's just say it was a fracture. And so what would you give her? And she's already taking longevity products, but what would you give her? Somebody 185 pounds with, say, a possibility, one of the options, one of the possibilities is a fracture. What would you give her to start with?
Well, I'd give her lots of glucogel.
Okay. And what would be the basic program?
She needs 2 healthy bone and joint packs.
Very good. 1 per 100 pounds of body weight, 185 pounds. Right. 2 healthy bone and joint packs, absolutely. And 15 glucogel a day. All that will be accomplished by the 2 healthy bone and joint packs. And get that X-ray. If you're going to get a CAT scan or an MRI, just do it to the foot. Protect the rest of your body because we don't want too much radiation. 1 CAT scan is, the equivalent of 500 chest X-rays, so you got to watch it. Okay, Doug, let's go to callers.
Let's head to Las Vegas, Nevada, and Melissa, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Hello, Melissa, you're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Dr. Wallach. I want to thank you for all your research and your knowledge.
Well, thank you. How can we help you today?
Your Epigenetics book. I have a 12-month-old standard poodle, 56 pounds. Had him yesterday to the vet because he seems to be burping up water, and it's becoming more consistent. Not throwing up from the stomach, but mostly water. She did a barium esophageal X-ray. Hope I'm explaining this correctly. Mm-hmm. Showed a little bit of barium streak, like down around the chest area. Has sent that out.
Outside of the digestive system?
Pardon me?
Outside of the esophagus?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it was down along, like around in the chest area, like the streak where it was settling.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been sent out for a radiologist to read, so I'm waiting for the diagnosis of that.
Okay.
Wondering what I can do to promote esophageal health.
Okay, well, first of all, I'm still not quite sure if this barium is inside the esophagus, and it may be, the esophagus has multi-layers of muscles going different directions and things, plus the lining of the esophagus, plus the outside tissue. And it's kind of like a garden hose. It's muscular and moves things along, but there's multiples of layers. And it's not unusual to get a tear in one of the inside layers, and so the barium could get in between the other layers. And in an artery, this would be called a dissecting aneurysm. Okay? And so definitely I would give that dog only liquid food to begin with here, and I would give it the killer biotic, and a dog of 56 pounds, I give it 2 killer biotics a day, one in the morning, one in the evening, just plop it down its throat, and with a little bit of water chaser or something like that. The capsule will get down to the stomach unless there's a big hole or tear in the esophagus. And so let's see what the radiologist says, but it could come from an internal tear, may have swallowed a piece of a stick or, who knows, and caused some trauma in there. That's a possibility. But we do have liquid supplements. Okay, one is Tropical Plus, tastes very good. And if the dog won't lick it out of a bowl, I'd go ahead and take a couple of tablespoons and just hold his head up and put it in his mouth and hold his mouth shut and rub his throat. It'll swallow it. Also, we do have the liquid minerals. The cherry mints taste good. The plain plant minerals don't taste bad. They don't have a taste, I don't think, myself personally, but they do have an astringent quality. And so it's a way of getting liquid minerals and stuff down the dog. And so when you get the radiologist's opinion, call us back and we'll walk you through this, okay?
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you for sharing. Okay, how much time we got here, Doug?
Oh, we got plenty of time.
Okay, well, let's go for another one.
All right, let's head to Union, New Jersey, and Willa, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Willa, you're on the air.
Yes, Dr. Wallach. How are you?
Very fine, thank you. How can we help you?
I'm calling about a couple of your products have iron. I'm over 65, and I was told that after you pass the age of 65, iron should not be in your diet or any type of medication or supplement you take.
Okay, well, Willa, whoever told you that, you should fire them and report them to the State Medical Association.
Okay.
Because people over age 65 need more iron than somebody who's younger because it's very easy to get an iron deficiency anemia at older age because your ability to digest things, absorb things becomes lessened. And anybody who tells you to read labels and exclude iron from your diet should be put in jail. Okay? If they're a medical practitioner of any kind or a health practitioner of any kind, they should have their license suspended for at least a year, and they have to take courses in basic third-grade nutrition. Okay? So I wouldn't do that. How much do you weigh, Willa? Willa, are you still there? I guess not. Okay, well, and so what I would do here, Shar, are you there?
Here.
Okay, so what would you, let's say Willa's 140 pounds, 150 pounds. What supplement program would you give her to ensure she can get plenty of iron and vitamin D3 and vitamin A and phosphorus and all that kind of stuff? What supplement program would you give her?
I'll just get her on a Healthy Start Pack.
Well, yeah, just the basic program. She doesn't have any problems. Exactly. 1 per 100 pounds of body weight. Have her stay away from all the bad stuff.
Have a problem.
Okay. Oh, now I hear Willa.
You hear me now? Okay.
I can hear you now. Lost
That
you
was 240, not 140.
Oh, 240. Well, I just guessed at 140.
Yes.
So you weigh 240. How tall are
Yes.
you? How tall are you, Willa?
5'9".
5'9", okay. Yeah, I would say at 5'9", you should weigh maybe 165, something like that, 170 at the most. You need to lose 70, 80 pounds. And what would you do for Willa? She needs 2 of those Healthy Start packs, at least, maybe even 3, but certainly 2. 1 full dose for breakfast and dinner. What would you do for her weight challenge here?
I would give her the ASAP.
Absolutely. Needing to lose 80 pounds, I would get 2 bottles of the ASAP per month in addition to your 2 Healthy Start packs. Put a dropper full under your tongue 30 minutes before each meal. Put a second dropper full, not a drop, but a dropper full under your tongue 15 minutes before each meal. It's going to require 2 bottles a month to pull that off. And after a couple of days, you'll begin to lose anywhere from a half a pound to 2 pounds a day. And the magic here, Willa, as long as you're taking your 90 for life, guess what? You will not gain the weight back. Now, here's kind of an interesting thing. Iron deficiency is one of the biggest causes of weight gain. And so if you're iron deficient, you're going to gain weight because it causes the munchies and cravings and binge eating as one of the symptoms of an iron deficiency. So whoever told you anybody over age 65 shouldn't be supplementing with iron should get their license suspended for at least a year and should go to jail. Call us as we find out more information here, Willa. We'll be back after these messages. Doug, let's go to callers.
Let's head to Virginia. And Yolene, you're on with Dr. Wallach.
Yolene, you're on the air.
Oh, hi. Thank you for taking my call.
Hi.
I have a number of challenges that I'm seeking solutions for.
Okay.
My doctors don't seem to know what's causing my white blood cell to be low, and I'm usually borderline on red cells. And I have unexplained weight loss. I'm 61, but I'm only 112 pounds, and I really keep losing weight. And I have osteopenia, diabetes.
How tall are you?
5'5".
Okay. All right. Any other issues? Any diabetes, heart disease?
No heart disease.
Okay, so you have osteopenia. Okay, white blood cells are low, red blood cells are low, weight loss. Now here's what's a possibility. Okay, do you have any skin problems?
No.
Okay, any history of bronchitis or asthma?
No.
Okay, any bowel problems, any constipation or diarrhea?
No, but I'm bloated.
A lot of bloating. Okay, you have any children with problems, health problems?
No, I have one daughter. She doesn't have any problems.
Okay. Well, Ms. Shar, what do you think here? She's bloating. She's low in a lot of things. What do you think?
Well, the fact that when she said she's bloated, that just, to me, that's a gluten problem.
Yeah, I believe you. Okay, gluten possibility here, real strong gluten possibility. Yep. We don't have time to ask a lot of other questions, but when people have osteoporosis, osteopenia, oftentimes their bone marrow cavity will be filled with bone matrix. It's kind of a basic protein, kind of the rebar inside the bones, and it squeezes the cells that make white blood cells and red blood cells, goes along with osteopenia. And if you have gluten intolerance, you can't absorb nutrients, so you're going to lose weight. And so what would you do for her, Char? What would you do for this lady?
First thing, get on a gluten-free diet, which she can do immediately. No wheat, barley, rye, or oats. And secondly, she just really needs, if she doesn't have diabetes or anything, she needs a healthy, I'd give her the healthy bone and joint pack, actually.
Perfect. Actually, good.
Yeah, and that way she can, she could get an extra bottle of the liquid calcium to rebuild her
Good. So she'd be able to take 2 ounces a day.
I have diabetes.
Oh, you do have diabetes. Okay.
Yes.
Healthy blood sugar pack.
There you go. So 112 pounds, 1 healthy blood sugar pack per month. I get an extra bottle of Sweeties. So you could take 3 Sweeties twice a day, half a dose of everything else twice a day. But do get an extra bottle of Osteo. As Char said, you could take an ounce twice a day of that, everything else, a half a dose twice a day. I would also take, in case there's other things going on here, I would also take the D-stress capsules, capital D, like David-stress, because it has B12 in it. And I would also take some selenium. I'd take 1 bottle of selenium a month, 1 at breakfast, 1 at lunch, 1 at dinner. 1 bottle will last you a month. That's going to give you some extra copper, which is also required as a raw material to make red blood cells and help with bone structure and so forth. Make sure you're eating half a dozen eggs a day, 6 eggs a day, a lot of great protein. soft scramble and butter, and soft poached with soft yolks, soft boiled with soft yolks. Eat baked sweet potatoes with butter. You can have those for breakfast and dinner, but stay away from wheat, barley, rye, and oats, as Shar says. And then call us every couple of weeks. We need to know your weight. Anytime you go in for a blood test, we want to know your white blood cell count, your red blood cell count. We need to know your weight, blood pressure, pulse, all that kind of stuff. And so let's start there. Let us know your blood sugar levels, because if you're type 2 diabetic, it should respond very quickly to the 2 sweeties, 2 bottles of sweeties per month, and the other 90 essential nutrients you're going to find in that one healthy blood sugar pack. Okay, let's see here, Doug. How much time we have left here?
About 3 seconds.
3 seconds. Well, I'll go ahead and take it. Remind everybody, get a hold of that new book out, Epigenetics, The Death of the Genetic Theory of Disease Transmission, and find out how you can maximize your genetic potential by giving all the raw materials that your genes, DNA, RNA, and telomeres need. Epigenetics, The Death of the Genetic Theory of Disease Transmission. Thank you, Shar, super job. Thank you so much, Doug and Richard. Superlative job as usual. God bless each and every one of you. God bless our troops. God bless our Navy SEALs. And God bless America.